My own brother banned me from his wedding because his wife hates me. He said it like I was nothing, like cutting me out was the easiest thing in the world. And the worst part? He told me this on a family call in front of everyone without even blinking. I felt my chest tighten, but I stayed calm because he had no idea what I was holding inside. Share this story, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because what happens next will shock you. When Daniel said, "Olivia, don't show up," Megan doesn't want drama. The entire call went silent, and Mom whispered, "Maybe let it go, honey," like I was the problem. But none of them knew the truth that 3 months earlier, Daniel had come to me shaking, broke, and desperate, and I gave him $18,000 to save his business with nothing in return. I never told anyone. I protected him. And now he was treating me like some stain on their perfect wedding. I didn't fight him, I just said, okay. Until he added the line that stabbed the deepest, "Megan thinks you'll embarrass us." Embarrass them? I was the reason his life wasn't falling apart. Later that night, while their rehearsal pictures flooded social media, something inside me cracked wide open. Because the money I gave Daniel came from a secret none of them knew about, not my parents, not my brother, no one. And at 2:13 a.m., when Daniel accidentally sent me a message meant for Megan saying, "Don't worry, babe. Olivia won't show. She knows her place." Everything inside me turned cold. My place? Oh. He had no idea where my place actually was. And if they wanted a quiet, perfect wedding, they should have never underestimated the one person holding the biggest secret in the room. Because I was about to take that secret straight to their big night. The next morning, I woke up with one thought burning in my head. They think I'm weak. They think I'll sit at home, stay quiet, and let them walk all over me like I always did. But not this time. I opened the message Daniel sent by mistake at least 10 times each time, feeling the same cold fire run through me. She knows her place. They really believed I was below them, some nobody they could push aside while they enjoyed a perfect wedding. What they didn't know was that while Daniel was begging me for money months ago, I was building something huge. Behind the scenes, something even he couldn't wrap his mind around. I didn't post about it, didn't brag, didn't tell anyone because I wanted my success to be quiet, clean, and mine. But now, they pushed me to the edge. By noon, I got a call from my cousin Emma, her voice dripping with fake concern as she said, "Olivia, maybe it's better if you stay out of it." You know how Megan is. I almost laughed. Everyone was so busy protecting Megan's feelings that they forgot mine even existed. I just said, "Sure, no problem," and hung up, refusing to give them even one hint of what I was planning. Because, while they were choosing flowers and table settings, I was preparing something that would shake their little fairy tale night. And at 5:42 p.m., I got the final push I needed, another message from Megan this time. "Please don't come. I don't want you ruining my pictures." My fingers froze. My heartbeat slowed. I stared at the screen with a sharp, calm smile. If they thought I was capable of ruining their pictures, they had no idea what I was truly capable of.
Yes.
When I opened the folder on my laptop labeled "properly" and the truth staring back at me was way bigger than anything they expected. Because the wedding venue, the one Megan kept bragging about, the one Daniel pretended he'd paid for, I stared at the contract again just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. My own name sat there in bold letters. Venue owner Olivia Carter. My chest tightened with a mix of pain and power as the truth hit me. He didn't just betray me. He used me. A storm brewed inside me, but not the kind that destroys. This was the kind that teaches people a lesson they'd never forget. By evening, I dressed slowly, choosing a simple black dress. Nothing fancy, no diamonds, no bragging. I didn't need to shine. The truth was already glowing louder than any spotlight. When I reached the venue, the valet boy hesitated and said, politely, "Sorry, ma'am, this is a private event." I smiled and showed him the folded document. His eyes widened, and he whispered, "Oh, right this way, Miss Carter." The moment I stepped inside, the room froze. Megan's face dropped first, then Daniel's jaw actually trembled. I could feel dozens of eyes on me, family, friends, people who secretly loved the drama. Daniel rushed over, whisper shouting, "Olivia, what are you doing here? I told you not to come." I leaned in, my voice calm and sharp as a blade. "And I told you nothing, Daniel, remember?" His face reddened as Megan joined, her voice shaking. "You're ruining our wedding. This is exactly why I didn't want you here." I almost laughed at the irony. "Actually," I said softly, "I'm the reason this wedding is even happening." Daniel blinked fast, pretending not to understand. But when I gently tapped the folder in my hand, I saw pure fear flicker in his eyes, because he remembered, and he knew. And when the venue manager approached us and said, "Miss Carter, everything okay? Do you want any changes to the setup?" The entire room gasped so loudly the music almost stopped. Daniel grabbed my arm, panicking now. "Olivia, please, don't do this." But it was already too late. The truth was about to explode publicly the moment the manager called me Miss Carter. The entire hall shifted like every whisper, every judgment, every insult they ever threw at me suddenly snapped back in their faces. Megan's smile collapsed into panic, and Daniel looked like he'd swallowed fire. People were staring, phones subtly lifting, trying to record the meltdown they knew was coming. Daniel pulled me aside, voice shaking. "Olivia, don't make a scene, please. A scene. I had stayed silent for years." I swallowed insults, laughed off their jokes, sat in corners during family events like I didn't exist. But tonight, the silence was over. I opened the folder and held the contract just close enough for him to see his signature crying under mine. "You signed this," I whispered. "You begged me for help. And now you told your wife I'd embarrass you." His face twisted. Megan rushed over, eyes wide, pretending innocence. "I didn't mean what I said," she babbled. "I was just stressed brides get emotional." I cut her off with a calm smile. "You told me not to come because you didn't want me in your pictures." Her mouth opened, but no words came, just guilt choking her voice. A few guests gasped. Even her own bridesmaids stepped back. Daniel tried again. "Liv, please, let's talk outside." "Don't ruin this night." That line, that same tone, that same entitlement. It pushed a button deep inside me. I looked around at the room full of people who once whispered that I'd never become anything. The same cousins who mocked my small apartment. The aunts who joked that I didn't fit with the family. And now, they were standing in a venue under my name. My contract, my signature, my power. I turned toward the stage slowly, every step echoing through the hall. The microphone was still warm from the last speech. People held their breath. I could feel Daniel's panic behind me, Megan's rage boiling, my mother's confusion, my father's shame. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't need to. "Before you celebrate this beautiful night," I said calmly, "there's something all of you should know." Eyes widened, phones went up. Megan whispered, "No, no, no." Daniel's face turned ghost white. "This wedding," I continued, "is happening in a venue I own." A loud gasp erupted like fireworks. The DJ stopped the music. The lights flickered. People actually stepped aside as if they suddenly saw me for the first time. Months ago, I said Daniel needed help. I helped him. I signed everything. I kept his secret. I expected nothing. But what I got in return was disrespect, lies, and the message. I lifted my phone. That I should know my place. A few people audibly muttered, "Wow," and "Seriously?" Megan's face twisted, tears threatening. She grabbed the mic, shaking. "Why are you doing this? You want attention? You want money? You're jealous of me, aren't you?" I smiled, not bitter, not angry, just done. "Jealous? Megan, sweetie, I paid for the wedding you're bragging about." Her face broke. Daniel stepped forward. "Olivia, please stop. We can fix this. I'll apologize. We'll talk after." But the truth was crystal clear now. They didn't care until the power shifted. And when I looked at my parents, who said nothing when I was disinvited, they suddenly looked small. Guilty. Scared of losing something they didn't even know I had. I took a quiet breath and dropped the final twist they never saw coming. "Daniel," I said gently, "since I'm the owner, And since your wife doesn't want me here, I think it's best if you both leave. The entire hall exploded into shocked gasps, people covering their mouths, bridesmaids grabbing their heads, the manager stepping closer as if waiting for my signal. Megan screamed, "You can't kick us out of our own wedding." But I looked at her with the calmest eyes she'd ever seen and said, "It's not your venue. It's mine. And tonight you made it very clear I'm not welcome here. So, I'm simply respecting your wish." Daniel froze. Megan's legs shook, and the entire hall waited breathless, wondering if I was truly about to end their wedding with one sentence. Daniel stood there frozen, his face drained of color, while Megan clung to his arm like the ground was shaking beneath her. The entire hall watched them, waiting to see if I would actually follow through. And for a moment I let the silence stretch, let them feel the weight of their own actions. Then I nodded to the manager, who stepped forward respectfully and said, "Mr. and Mrs. Parker, we need to speak with you outside." The room gasped again. Megan started crying loud, dramatic sobs meant to turn the crowd against me, but nobody moved to comfort her. In fact, people were whispering things like, "She really did this to Olivia? And no wonder she got banned." Daniel looked at me with pleading eyes. "Olivia, please. You're my sister. Don't do this. I messed up, okay? I shouldn't have said those things. I'm sorry. Just don't ruin this night." But the apology wasn't real. It was fear, panic. The sudden realization that the person he treated like a doormat had become the strongest one in the room. I stepped closer, my voice low but steady. "You never ruined my night, Daniel. You ruined our relationship. You lied, used me, disrespected me, and then pretended I didn't matter. Tonight is the first time you're seeing who I actually am." His eyes filled with tears, but the damage was done. Megan snapped, "You think anyone cares that you own this place? You're nothing compared to us." I raised a hand and she instantly stopped because the room turned on her. Even her bridesmaids looked disgusted. One whispered loudly, "Girl, she paid for your wedding." Another said, "You should be thanking her, not insulting her." For the first time all night, Megan realized she wasn't the princess, she was the villain. She grabbed Daniel and stormed toward the exit as cameras followed her humiliating walk of shame. Daniel paused and looked back at me one last time, his voice breaking. "I'm sorry, Liv. I really am. I didn't respond. Some apologies. Don't need answers." When they stepped outside, the entire hall exhaled, like the tension had finally snapped. That's when my mother approached, hesitating like she'd never seen me before. "Olivia, why didn't you tell us you did all this? Why didn't you say anything?" I gave her a soft smile. "Because I didn't need validation, I just needed respect." She nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. "And you deserve it. We all treated you wrong." It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was real, and it was enough. The manager asked gently, "Miss Carter, what would you like to do?" I looked around the room, at the guests who stayed respectful, the cousins who supported me, even the ones who used to ignore me now staring with quiet awe. I took a breath and said, "Continue the event. But this time, it won't be their wedding." People leaned in. "It'll be a celebration for everyone who knows how to treat others with respect." The room erupted in cheers, laughter. Relief music started again, the lights warmed, and for the first time in years I felt seen, not as the quiet sister, not as the underestimated one, but as the woman who rose, worked in silence, and stood tall when they tried to break her. I didn't need revenge to feel powerful, I just needed the truth to come out. And as I walked through the hall, guests congratulating me, thanking me for standing up for myself, I felt something deeper than satisfaction. I felt free. They tried to embarrass me. They tried to erase me. They tried to make me know my place. But tonight, I defined exactly what my place was. On top,